Happy Friday. Not so happy for the tracker, though. Bad news for the tracker. This is not clickbait. The only time I used clickbait was when I said van life is over, and I said I traded it in for a mini bike from a kid in town, straight up. But yeah, blown head gasket. I bought this with, I believe, 95,300 miles, so barely 1,000 miles on this before it blew a head gasket. Happened on my way to work. Surprisingly, I got this thing out to the desert, 4-hour total drive, maybe even 5 with the off-roading, and it did fine. And the thing is, I haven't done a 0 to 60 run on this yet because I didn't want to do it until I changed the timing belt. I said, you know what, I don't know when the timing belt on this thing was changed. Normally when people change out the timing belt, they write it down on a decal and stick it on the timing belt cover, so I was eventually going to do that. But now that it has a blown head gasket, I was quoted for $800 to replace it. I'm going to go ahead and get the timing belt replaced too. So that's why you haven't seen part 5 of my 5-part Geo Tracker series, because part 5 was going to be, should you buy one? Well, man, am I regretting it now? A little bit. I gotta be honest. My channel is gonna be honest, and I'm regretting this a little bit now since I paid so much for this thing. Once the head gasket and timing belt's done, I might be close to $10,000 into this thing. I thought I bought one of the nicest ones in the country. That 95,000 miles looked legit. I Carfaxed it. Who knows? It might have 395,000 miles on it. But it looked legit when I Carfaxed this thing. But let's go ahead and start this up. See, it still starts up fine. And then when I bought it, it did that. The high idle. It did the 1500 RPM. Then it drops back down to like 1,000 after a couple minutes. But other than that, it's running fine. It just leaks coolant out of the, head gasket area, and it has the, it looks like the coolant looks like coffee creamer. I'll show you that right now. There you go. The coolant looks like coffee creamer right now. But other than that, it's running fine. So once it gets to temperature, it starts leaking coolant back here. There's a better look at the coolant. It's starting to leak out now. Of course the cap's off, but I wanted to show you guys that. It looks like coffee creamer. I'm gonna turn it off right now. So I got quoted $800 for the head gasket fix. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get the timing belt replaced. I'll get a new water pump. I'll put a new radiator too. So like I said, with all that, yeah, that's what my tax return's going. But with all that, I'll be close to 10 grand into this thing. And like I said, I'm being honest. I had a lot of fun taking this off-road, and I love this thing. It's really cool. But man, now that this happened, like, you never know. That's the advice for the day when getting a retro vehicle. You just never know. You could buy the nicest one, and this could happen. It's unpredictable. So as of now, I'm somewhat regretting it. But man, I'm already into this thing, and yeah, I always wanted one. I always wanted a small 4x4. Not always, but like for the last 10 years, I wanted a small 4x4, or just a 4x4 vehicle in general. But yeah, let's see how I feel once I get this repaired. But as of now, yeah, definitely regretting it right now. And that's what I like to talk about on my channel. I like to be honest. It was fun talking about this. I'm still gonna talk about this, but man, making videos for this was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun sharing it. But right now is just the reality of a 30-year-old vehicle, blown head gasket on my way to work. This thing got me to the desert though. The year I got my A-Barth, I made this video right here. I was considering a Jeep Renegade. 2015, this was in 2018, $13,900, so I was really close to getting this. Like I said, I've been wanting a small 4x4 for 10 years now, but I didn't go with the Renegade. I went with the A-Barth instead back in 2018. Here's what a 2015 Trailhawk is going for right now, $15,000. So taking a look at Renegades here. This is the top of the line Trailhawk, and then I've always wanted one of these Hummer H3. I like Hummer H2s, but I think the Hummer H3 is the better vehicle, better for off-roading. The smaller the vehicle, the better. 13 grand. So yeah, like I said, I still like my tracker. This is very disappointing that it blew the head gasket. Right now I'm in the, man, I kind of regret this frame of mind. But like I said, once I get it repaired and it's back on the road, you know, like I'm going to get a new I'm going to do everything. Head gasket, radiator, and timing belt. Hopefully it'll be good for 100,000 miles once I do that. I was intending to replace the timing belt anyway. And, you know, that's why I said I haven't done a 0 to 60 run yet, because I wanted a new timing belt. But there you go. If you're watching my channel, you know, watch all my content. Or if you're thinking about a tracker, what would I say right now that this has happened to me? I went with trackers to me are worth six to 8 grand if you could get a really good one. Some are going for 14,000 plus, if straight up mint. But like I said, I felt like I got a solid 8 out of 10, one of the nicest ones in the country, and it still blew a head gasket in a little over 1,000 miles of having it. So the reason I went so expensive with mine, 7 grand, is because I said, okay, I don't want to buy a project, and now it's a project. So what would I do? I said I wanted one that looked nice exterior, nice interior. Man, I would almost buy one if you could find one with a blown motor but a nice body. Just get a new engine. I was looking up engines, and engines cost about $2,500. So if you could find one for like 3 grand, and you know it has a blown engine, just get a new motor. So 3 grand, 2,500. Let's say 1,000 for labor, $8,500. But then you know it has a brand new motor. So yeah, that's the plan. Disappointing. It's been a rough month. Catalytic converter got stolen. Head gasket blew on my tracker. That's where my tax return's going. So I'm going to get the head gasket replaced, new timing belt, and a new radiator, water pump. And like I said, once that's all in, it's going to be close to 10 grand. So still short of the 13 grand that this Hummer H3 is. But now I'm saying to myself, man, should I have gotten a Hummer H3 instead? But then that defeats the purpose of why I got a tracker. See, a Hummer H3 is cumbersome. I don't want to tow this behind my van. I don't think you flat tow a Hummer H3 anyway. So the whole point of me getting a Geo tracker, Suzuki Sidekick or a Samurai, was because I wanted to flat tow it behind my van and, you know, get it out to the desert, sleep in my van, wake up to off-roading. I said this story so many times. So yeah, that's why I never got an H3 or even a Renegade. A Renegade's still pretty small, but you can't I don't think you can flat tow any of those. And then the Hummer H3 is a much bigger vehicle than the tracker, but I still can't sleep in this thing as comfortably as my van. You can't sleep in anything more comfortably than a van. Only an RV, really. So yeah, I'm almost to the point where I'm telling myself I should have got one of these instead. But, you know, right now I'm just down on the situation, but I'll get it fixed. I don't want to give up on my dream yet. Not quite ready. I'm right there. I'm right at my dream. It's just needs to happen. So I was happy I was quoted at $800 and not 2 grand. So, you know, that's kind of a victory. You got to look at victories. I was expecting it to be like 2 grand. You know how expensive it is to get things repaired. All right, everyone. A little lesson video for retro rides. Maybe you want to buy something a little newer than 30 years old.